Back at it again. We've got to talk about Stephen A. Smith and people like Stephen A. Smith. Now, I know we talked about Stephen A. Smith quite a lot more recently, okay? But, there have been some noteworthy things that he has said. And today's no different. Like, share, comment, and hit that subscribe button if you are new. And let's dive in.
All right. Still to come right here on the Stephen A. Smith Show. Did you hear Donald Trump's comments on a, quote, bloodbath if he's not reelected? I've got several thoughts on that matter, plus calls, tweets, and then some up next. It's the Stephen A. Smith Show. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the Stephen A. Smith Show right here over the digital airwaves of YouTube. I want to take a moment to get into a little politics because there was a website called The Spun that released an article about me, and it was entitled, quote, Stephen A. accuses the media of being unfair to Donald Trump. The subject of the article was a post, essentially one that I tagged to a video that was released by Elon Musk on a speech that Trump was giving the other day. And when I responded and tagged Elon Musk's video, here is what I said. Based purely on this video, if it is accurate, then it would be true. It seems real Donald Trump's words were taken out of context. Reading the headlines, I've read, fair is fair. I posted this in response to the owner of Tesla and X, the one and only Elon Musk himself, saying, quote, legacy media lies, end quote, in a post highlighting media criticism of Trump's speech. That was in reference to Trump's comment Saturday at an auto industry rally in Dayton, Ohio, y'all. An auto industry rally in Dayton, Ohio. One thing Trump did say was this. Listen for yourself.
China now is building a couple of massive plants where they're going to build the cars in Mexico and they think that they're going to sell those cars into the United States with no tax at the border. Let me tell you something to China. If you're listening, President Xi, and you and I are friends, but he understands the way I deal, those big monster car manufacturing plants that you're building in Mexico right now, and you think you're going to get that, you're going to not hire Americans, and you're going to sell the cars to us. Now, we're going to put a 100% tariff on every single car that comes across the line, and you're not going to be able to sell those cars. If I get elected, now, if I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath for the whole, that's going to be the least of it. It's going to be a bloodbath for the country. That'll be the least of it.
What did I do? The fact of the matter is, when you watch the headlines talking about Donald Trump, they were mischaracterizing his comments. Yes, he said what he said, but it was taken completely out of context because he was talking about the auto industry. And
This is the funny thing. I know I've just been letting it play. I've just been quiet, okay, because I want you guys to hear this clip, all right? But, he'll have moments like this where he will tell the 100% truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, okay? But then he'll have other moments where we gonna get into it, where you just yo, what in the actual, what is happening? Now, I have some speculation as to what is going on, and I'll get into that later in the video, but I just wanted to highlight, he's actually telling the truth. They were lying about what Trump said. He was clearly talking about the auto industry, and I've made 2 videos on that now. They were obviously lying. And some people may say, well, if you already made 1 video, why make 2? Well, because the media makes multiple videos on it all day long. And they've got mainstream, they've got big dollars backing them to push out their videos to people. So, I mean, the least I could do is make a couple videos on the subject. Now, of course, I included different clips in both videos. I didn't just, re-upload the same video. Those of you that watched both videos know that there's different clips in both videos addressing the media lies and the hoax, right? If you haven't seen those, definitely check those out, okay? I dropped one yesterday and the day before yesterday, I believe, okay? But yeah, he'll have moments like this where it's just like, yes, tell the truth, Stephen A. Because it's people like Stephen A. that sometimes are the ones that have to say this type of stuff. Okay, it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. People like Stephen A., people that individuals see as a staunch Democrat, right? Staunch Democrats have to come out and say this type of stuff in order to get some people to like wake up and be like, oh, he's got a point. They are lying about Trump, you know, because people like me, oh, well, he's an Uncle T, he's a this, he's a that, he lying, you know. I just get kind of blown off. Not by everybody. Not by everybody. I see the comments. I see lots of comments from folks who, you know, have been on this journey with me and have realized the truth with me. But there are some folks that kind of just, he's a Trumper, right? So when people like Stephen A. say it, I think it has a little more oomph behind it to, you know, some staunch Democrat voters. But let's continue.
Business with China, and how if he's not elected, it's going to be problematic in terms of doing business with China as it pertains to the auto industry. I don't take it back. I ain't backing up 1 inch. What the hell is going on here? Let me tell y'all something. I'm really getting sick and tired of people mischaracterizing my quotes. This is the beauty of having my own platform and saying what I want to say and what I need to say, only for this perspective of quoting me accurately and contextualizing what I say accurately. Then do what you want. But any given time that I want to, when you mischaracterize what I say, I'm going to come back at your ass. That's what I'm going to do. Let me be very, very clear. For all of you Democrats out there that swear up and down I'm some damn Trump supporter because I call it like I said. I didn't vote for Trump in 2016. I didn't vote for Trump in 2020, and I damn sure ain't going to vote for him in 2024. And if you really, really want my history, let me take it.
This is what I mean. We're getting into it.
A step further. I voted for Michael Dukakis versus H.W. Bush, even when he tried to hoodwink everybody and use those Willie Horton ads that ultimately worked for him. I voted for Bill Clinton, not once but twice. I voted for Al Gore. That's the first time I heard about, what is it, leaning chads at the voting booth? Hanging chads, rather. I don't know this stuff, but I voted for Al Gore. Yes, I did. I voted for John Kerry. Yes, I did. And you damn right I voted for Barack Obama, not once but twice. And I voted for Hillary Clinton. And I voted for Joe Biden, despite the crime bill leading to mass incarceration for minorities in this country, although it was entirely his fault because
despite Joe Biden calling black kids roaches, despite Joe Biden calling black people super predators, despite Joe Biden calling LL Cool J boy on stage in front of an entire crowd, despite Joe Biden calling the darling of the Democrat Party the first clean and articulate mainstream black male, Barack Obama. Despite Joe Biden giving the eulogy at a K group member's funeral. Now they try to say he was a former member, but also even if you want to run with that narrative of former member, you don't give the eulogy at someone's funeral that you just met, do you? So even if he was a former member, that means Joe Biden and him were friends when he was allegedly a member. I've never heard of somebody just walking up to somebody's funeral and just giving a eulogy to someone that they just met or that they didn't know. This is usually someone you've known for many, many years. You've had a relationship. You've grown close together. So that means he knew him when he was allegedly a member. I'm just saying. That's who you supported, Stephen A. That is who you support and who you're bragging about supporting instead of the guy who wants to put America first. And what's the worst thing Trump has done? Some mean tweets? What, he tells it like it is? We saw the video of I believe it was Sheila Jackson, because I asked you guys before previously who was that Democrat. I thought it was Maxine Waters, but I believe I remember you guys saying it was Sheila Jackson, that was calling some of her assistants out of their names, making fun of their weight, calling them fat, all types of stuff, saying all this type of stuff to people that work for her. But Trump is the bad guy? Oh, man. Trump simply just says what a lot of people say behind closed doors. He says it out in the open. That's the only difference. Y'all are afraid to say it. Y'all are afraid to say it. I know good and darn well Stephen A. just says some wild stuff behind closed doors. You know, like, come on now. Everybody has. Everybody has. You'd be lying if you said that you didn't say something crazy. You know, for example, I've always used the example. Me and my homies, we make jokes about each other. Jokes that I would not say here on video, because they can hit deep sometimes. But that's just the way we interact with each other. That's just the way we mess around, right? We tell jokes. And some of those jokes are pretty cruel. I will admit. So cruel that I can't say them right here on video. This video would get demonetized, or at least limited ads, which I don't even understand limited ads because it's basically nothing. But we don't need to get into that topic today. So yeah, like his worst crime is he says in public what people say in private. So what?
Had the Congressional Black Caucus pushing him to do it. But he bragged about how it was his bill until it wasn't politically expedient for him to do so. I've been voting for Democrats, but hey, I'm a fair-minded individual. And when Republicans make sense, I'm going to give them credit for it. When they're right about something, I'm going to give them credit for it. There's plenty of Republicans other than Trump that I would have voted for, and I wouldn't have apologized for it because I don't happen to disagree with every conservative policy. But just so we're clear, I'm a fiscal conservative and I am a social liberal, unapologetic about it. What does that have to do with y'all not telling the truth? See, at the end of the day, let's just call it what it is. Trump is handing it to y'all. All you Democrats out there are walking around acting like it's somebody else's fault that in the year 2024, you're begging a soon-to-be 82-year-old incumbent to run for re-election and win for you because you haven't had a damn soul that can take them. 4 indictments, 91 counts, 2 impeachments, civil suits against them, elevating above $400 million. And he is whipping y'all ass. That is a fact. He secured the GOP nomination. You got him ahead in all the polls as we speak. You've got him elevated, according to the polls, in a world of Hispanics and blacks, more so than ever before. Not to say that those numbers are going to be exorbitant, but it'll be just enough to get him reelected. And because I'm sitting here and pointing out to you that you're getting in your own way by trying to fabricate or embellish stories in such a fashion where you could easily get caught, exposed for your miscalculations or your flat-out lies, and something that he is going to use to his advantage to get reelected. I'm wrong. I'm wrong.
There you go. That is what I think is going on. Stephen A. is trying to warn Democrats that they need to change their strategy. And this is his way of doing it. He just said it. He just said it right there. That's what I think Stephen A. is doing. He's trying to warn Democrats that your strategy, your current strategy, is not working. You have done this. It's like the boy who cried wolf, right? Now, for some folks, it is working. I will admit that. But for a lot of folks, they're like, bro, man, what ain't y'all just lied about this whole hoax thing? Like, come on now. No, I'm not believing you. I'm not believing you. And Stephen A is trying to warn the Democrat Party to switch strategies. That's what I think is happening. Either that, or Stephen A is legitimately a Republican, but he knows he cannot come out and publicly say that. He can't go all the way with it. He can kind of tiptoe, he can dance, he can stand on the fence and wave his hands, put his right foot in, take his right foot out, he put his right foot in, and then he shake it all about, like, I'm sorry, I had to do that. I'm trying to be serious here. But that was just too easy. You know what I mean? That was just too easy. But he can just dibble and dabble, but he can't jump all the way in because he knows his career is over. He knows that. We know that. I feel like everybody knows that, right? Allegedly, of course. Allegedly. Got to say allegedly. So maybe that's what's happening. Or, the first thing that I said, which is what he kind of described there towards the end of that clip. Well, there's more of the clip, but right before I paused it. And it's that he's warning the Democrat Party. What do you think? Let me know in the comment section below. It's just interesting how people can flip-flop this much. Like, you can go from saying, no, Trump is right, actually. Trump is right. He's not wrong. He's not wrong at all. You guys are wrong. And then you go from that to flipping and saying, but I ain't never voting for that guy. I never have voted for anybody like him. I've been voting Democrat my entire life. And it's just like, come on, son. Like, what in the actual... And even in previous clips, this guy, I believe it was Stephen A, if I remember correctly. Yeah, it was Stephen A. He had said that it is detrimental to only vote Democrat. He just described himself as only voting Democrat. Despite the crime bill. And it's just like, bro, how in the world do you live on like two sides in your mind? Like, how does that work? How does that work? Like, you're admitting the truth on one hand, but then on the other hand, but I ain't never voting for them. I know it's detrimental for me to keep voting for these folks, but, I ain't voting Republican. I don't know. I just don't get it. I don't get it. What do y'all think the situation is? Let me know in the comment section below. Like, share, comment, hit that subscribe button before you go. Peace and love. I'm out.